You're watching Story Scroll. Real stories, raw emotions, and endings you'll never forget. Let's scroll into today's tale.
My sister backstabbed our entire family over a $3 million inheritance, and I don't know if I should fight her or walk away. I never thought I'd be posting something like this, and honestly, I wish I wasn't. I've been going back and forth for weeks about whether I should even talk about this publicly, but I don't really know where else to put it. I feel betrayed, angry, guilty for feeling angry, and exhausted all at once. For context, there are only 2 kids in my family, me and my older sister. Growing up, the dynamic was obvious. She was the golden child, outgoing, confident, always praised. I was the quieter one, the reliable one, the kid who didn't cause problems and didn't need attention. My parents loved us both, but if you grew up in a family like this, you know what I mean when I say things were never exactly equal. My parents worked incredibly hard their entire lives. They built a successful business, invested wisely, and bought property over the years. They weren't flashy people, but by the time they were older, they were very comfortable. When everything was added up, the estate was worth around $3 million. Not in cash, mostly property, investments, and the business itself. One thing my parents always drilled into us was that family sticks together. They said it constantly. Money comes and goes, but family is forever. I genuinely believed that. I still want to. My sister, on the other hand, has always had a complicated relationship with money. She cared a lot about status, appearances, and what people thought of her. She married someone who fit that lifestyle perfectly, charming, flashy, and terrible with finances. They lived above their means, always chasing the next upgrade, the next big thing. Over the years, she'd make little comments that bothered me, but I brushed them off. I deserve more after everything I've done. They were so controlling with money. I sacrificed my life for this family. At the time, I thought it was just venting. Then my parents got sick. First my dad. Then not long after, my mom. It was slow and painful to watch. I moved my schedule around to help take them to appointments, manage medications, handle paperwork, and just be there. My sister visited occasionally, but it was never consistent. She always had something going on, trips, work events, social obligations. What hurt was that near the very end, she suddenly became extremely involved. She was calling constantly, asking questions about finances, documents, and what mom and dad wanted. I thought maybe the reality had finally hit her. I wanted to believe that. My dad passed first. My mom followed a few months later. Losing them so close together broke me in ways I'm still trying to process. A few weeks later, we had the will reading. The will was fair. Painfully fair. Everything was either split evenly or placed into a trust to prevent either of us from making reckless decisions. The business was to be sold later. Properties were to be managed jointly or sold. No one was favored. The moment my sister realized that she wasn't getting more, she exploded. She said it wasn't fair. She said she had given up more. She said I had manipulated our parents while they were sick. She accused me of whispering things into their ears when she wasn't around. I was stunned. I honestly thought she was just grieving and lashing out. I tried to calm things down. I told her I didn't want to fight. I said we could talk through things when emotions weren't so raw. She wouldn't hear it. A few days later, she stopped responding to my calls. Then I got a call from a lawyer. My sister had already contacted legal counsel. She was challenging the will. Not just questioning it. She was claiming our parents were mentally unfit when they signed it. She alleged manipulation, coercion, even hinted at elder abuse. She did all of this without telling me, without talking to me, without trying to resolve anything privately. She filed alone. That was the moment something in me broke. This wasn't grief. This wasn't confusion. This was calculated. I found out she had been speaking to lawyers before our mom even passed. She had been gathering information quietly while smiling to our faces. While we were planning funerals, our extended family is now divided. Some people think I should just let it go, that money isn't worth it. Others are furious on my behalf. Holidays are awkward. Group chats are silent. Relationships that existed my entire life are suddenly fragile.
I'm torn.
If I fight her, this will get ugly. Expensive.
Public.
It will permanently destroy whatever is left of our relationship. If I walk away, I lose not just financially, but morally. I let her rewrite our parents' legacy and reward betrayal. I keep hearing my parents' voices saying family comes first, and I don't know how to reconcile that with what my sister has done. I never thought my own sister would burn everything for money. Update. I honestly didn't know if I could post an update, but people have been asking for one, so here it is. Things have escalated in ways I never imagined. After my last post, I thought grief and betrayal were bad, but now I'm dealing with outright manipulation, lies, and legal warfare from someone I thought I could trust. When I found out that my sister had already contacted lawyers and was formally contesting the will, I was in complete disbelief. I kept asking myself, did she really just do all this behind my back? She claimed that our parents were manipulated by me, that I abused my power while they were sick, and even alleged that some of the documents were forged. She's essentially accused me of crimes I didn't commit and tried to paint herself as the only rational, fair child. I was blindsided. At first, I tried to believe there was a misunderstanding. Maybe she was lashing out in grief. But then the emails started surfacing. Between her and her lawyer, her messages to friends, and even some texts she accidentally sent to me thinking I wouldn't read them, it became clear. This wasn't grief. This was premeditated. Her lawyer's initial filings were filled with accusations that were extreme and easily disproven. My attorney, thankfully my parents had kept meticulous records, pulled medical documents proving our parents were fully competent when signing the will. Witnesses who had been at home, friends, and even distant relatives confirmed I had never manipulated anything. None of the allegations had any factual support. That's when I found the smoking gun. I was going through old emails, trying to make sense of why she was acting like this, when I stumbled across messages from her to her spouse, before her mother even passed, talking about how she would finally get her hands on the inheritance. There were detailed plans, which assets they would liquidate first, which properties they would sell, even extravagant purchases she would make immediately after the case. It hit me like a punch to the gut. She didn't just suddenly become obsessed with money after the will reading. This was planned for months, maybe years. She had her eyes on the prize, and she had zero intention of honoring anything the family stood for. As things progressed, more of her motives came into focus. I found out she has massive debts. Some of it was gambling, some from failed business ventures, some from just living far beyond her means. The inheritance wasn't about fairness or even need. It was her escape plan. Every lie she told, every accusation she made, was designed to secure $3 million that she thought was rightfully hers. The court proceedings began. From the start, it was clear the judge wasn't impressed with her claims. During her first testimony, she was caught lying under oath multiple times. My attorney had prepared everything meticulously, and every lie she made was contradicted by documentation or witnesses. At one point, even her own lawyer had to pull her aside and warn her, "This is not going well. Keep this up, and you will lose everything." Meanwhile, the family started to see her true face. People who had initially supported her, cousins, aunts, uncles, started to pull back once they realized the lengths she was willing to go. They witnessed her manipulation, the lies, and her willingness to publicly smear me to make herself look like the victim. She even went online, posting cryptic messages about greedy siblings and family betrayal, clearly trying to sway public opinion. Watching this unfold has been exhausting. I go to court, come home, and then deal with a barrage of family drama and her public attacks. I keep asking myself, is this really my sister? The person I shared childhood memories with, the person who was supposed to care about family. I don't recognize her anymore. Despite all this, I'm trying to stay grounded. I remind myself why I'm fighting this. Not for money, but for integrity, for my parents' legacy, and for a family standard that she completely disregarded. I don't want revenge. I just want what's fair, and what my parents wanted. The case is moving forward, and the tension is unbearable. Every hearing brings new surprises, new lies from her that need to be countered, and new revelations about just how far she was willing to go. I've had sleepless nights thinking about what comes next, and honestly, I'm not sure how it's going to end. All I know is this: the sister I knew is gone. In her place is someone I barely recognize, someone who has let greed completely overtake family bonds. I never imagined I would be fighting my own sister in court over money that was supposed to bring security, not destruction. I don't know how this will end, but I do know that I will stand firm, no matter how messy it gets. I don't recognize her anymore. Final update. It's been months since my last update, and I finally feel like I can breathe again. The legal battle with my sister has officially ended, and for the first time in a long time, I feel a sense of closure. The verdict came down clearly and decisively. The court dismissed all of my sister's claims. The will was upheld exactly as our parents intended. All accusations of manipulation, forgery, or incompetence were rejected. More than that, the judge explicitly called her actions malicious and ordered her to pay not only the legal fees she incurred in filing the case, but also court penalties. Essentially, she ended up losing far more than she could have ever gained. Watching karma unfold has been intense. My sister has been forced to sell several assets to cover the financial penalties, and it's taken a huge toll on her personal life as well. Her marriage, already shaky because of financial stress, collapsed under the pressure. Creditors came knocking relentlessly, and her reputation within our family has been irreparably damaged. Those who had once sided with her have now distanced themselves completely, unwilling to be associated with someone who burned bridges so recklessly. The most ironic part came after the verdict, when the trust clauses in the will were revealed. It turns out that had she not contested the will and had simply waited, she would have received a significant portion of the inheritance, possibly more than she got before contesting. Her greed and impatience literally cost her millions. The judge didn't sugarcoat it. Her behavior was deliberate, self-serving, and destructive. Every move she made to win backfired spectacularly. After the ruling, my sister made one last attempt to reconcile. She sent messages, left voicemails, and even tried to show up at my house, apologizing, or at least pretending to apologize. But it was obvious that her apology had nothing to do with guilt or understanding. It was about money, about trying to salvage what she could after losing the case. I refused. I've accepted that some bridges are meant to remain burned. For me, the healing process has been slow, but steady. I've taken steps to use the inheritance responsibly, securing my future, helping relatives who truly need support, and honoring the wishes of my parents in a way that aligns with the values they taught me. Therapy helped me process the betrayal and grief, and setting firm boundaries has allowed me to protect my own mental health. Looking back, I realized something important. Money didn't ruin my family. It exposed truths that were always there. My sister's actions revealed who she truly was, and while it hurt to see, it also freed me from illusions. I didn't lose a sister to money. I learned who she always was. It's still surreal to think about how quickly things escalated, from mourning our parents to fighting in court against someone I grew up with. But now, months later, there is peace. I can remember my parents for the people they were, not the chaos that followed their passing. I can honor their legacy, and I can live without the constant stress of wondering what she would do next. In the end, justice was served, not through revenge or bitterness, but through patience, truth, and a steadfast commitment to what was right. I didn't lose a sister to money. I learned who she always was.
Thanks for watching Story Scroll. Hit that bell and stay tuned for the next story that will move your heart.